Students, let us now learn about the light reaction. Light reaction is one part of photosynthesis. It is also called as photophosphorylation. We know that in light reaction, sunlight or sun energy is converted into chemical energy. How this happens, let us look at it right now. Also called as photophosphorylation. Okay. So we have the sun producing sunlight, which is absorbed by green plants. We know that the leaves of the green plants have tissues. In those tissues, the cells of those tissues have chlorophyll. And in the chlorophyll, we know that there are light harvesting pigments. Okay. So those kind of light harvesting pigments together are called as the light harvesting complex. Now, in green plants, there are two types of light harvesting complex. The ones which absorb sunlight of the wavelength 680 nanometers. Such kind of a light harvesting complex is called as photosystem 2. Okay. Now, this is the set of pigments which is going to absorb the sunlight. Followed? At this time, what happens is a chemical reaction generates two electrons. So H2O molecule gets split and two electrons are generated along with two protons and nascent oxygen. These two electrons are utilized here at light harvesting complex. The sun's energy, which is absorbed at light harvesting complex, excites these two electrons and they go into a higher energy state. So we shall represent the higher energy state by showing the arrow upwards. Okay, so two electrons are excited here. These two excited electrons are then harvested or absorbed by the electron acceptor. And this electron acceptor then channelizes these two excited electrons to something called as the ETS, electron transport system. Now what happens in this ETS? Here these two electrons with higher energy or excited state are being, the energy from these two electrons is being utilized to convert ADP to ATP. Okay, so the energy of these two electrons is used to convert ADP to ATP. Now, as a result of this, the two electrons will lose their energy and come to ground state again. Okay, and they are channelized to the light harvesting complex, which absorbs light of 700 nanometers wavelength. This kind of a light harvesting complex which absorbs sunlight, so you can see it is absorbing sunlight of 700 nanometers wavelength. Such a light harvesting complex is called as the photosystem 1. Okay, so what is the difference between the photosystem 1 and 2? What is the similarity? Both of these photosystems have light harvesting pigments. But the difference is that in photosystem 2, the sunlight of 680 nanometers is absorbed, and in photosystem 1, the sunlight of 700 nanometers wavelength is absorbed. As a result of this, these two electrons which had reached here at the ground state without any energy, now again get excited. So we'll show the excited electrons by showing an arrow upwards and go to a higher energy state. Okay. Again, these two electrons are captured by the electron acceptor, and these two electrons with high energy or excited state are channelized to another reaction wherein NADP plus along with the two electrons is converted into NADPH. So this is how the light energy is absorbed by chlorophyll or light harvesting pigments and is used to convert the light energy. The light energy is converted to chemical energy such as ATP and NADPH. Okay. So this is the light reaction. Now this scheme of light reaction, this pattern of light reaction is also called as a Z scheme, because you can see electrons get excited, then come to the ground state and get excited again. So it looks like a Z scheme. It is also called as non-cyclic light reaction or non-cyclic photophosphorylation.